Hello everyone. I've had access to this Audi SQ5 now for maybe 3-4 weeks. So I thought I'd make a quick video today just taking you over my thoughts about it. It is a little bit of a special model. It is the petrol version with the V6 3-litre supercharged engine in it. So we'll take it for a spin and I'll let you know my thoughts on it. So what do we have here? It's an Audi SQ5 from 2013. In most markets it launched in 2014 and it was mostly sold in Asia and North America. This particular one is from Japan and it is the petrol variant. So quite a lot of other markets got diesels. This one is the petrol and it's also a V6 3-litre and also supercharged. I was quite confused at first because it says V6T on the front, so I was thinking it's turbocharged. It is in fact supercharged, and they think that potentially, online there's a lot of discussion about it, but potentially the T is there to represent the supercharger type being twin vortices. The actual engine inside here is it's 350 horsepower and 260 kilowatts. Launches the car to about 100 kilometers an hour in about 5.1 seconds. This car being a bit older, it might be a bit slower than that now. Interesting, it's actually the same engine that's in the S4 and S5 variants from the same generation. That would be the engine that came after they stopped away from all the V8s. In terms of its transmission, it's got an 8-speed automatic and it is a all-wheel drive quattro all the time on system, which sends 60% of power to the rear. Overall, it's a pretty big car. It's certainly spacious inside. It weighs about 2 tons, so it's pretty impressive that it can sort of hit those speeds being so large as well. That sort of summarizes the intro. Now let's go for a drive and I'll talk about its driving dynamics. Now driving the Audi, I'm just driving around some suburbs at the moment and I've got the car in comfort setting. And it's pretty comfortable in here, to be honest. The seats have got great bolstering. They're a really nice Alcantara. Inside, you've got also this nice leather steering wheel, which has got a good feel to it. And you've got some really nice silver accents in here too. The infotainment is becoming a little bit outdated now. Like the navigation's pretty old school. It's not really that useful. The good thing is that it is worked into the interior of the car really nicely. You don't have sort of a big tablet sitting up top, so you don't really notice it too much. And it's got all your basics like Bluetooth for your music, and your Bluetooth music shows up on the screen on the left, but also in your dash too if you wanted to. Being the S model, the car does have quite a lot of premium features. It's got cameras all around, so you can click the side view button here, which will allow you to see the side of the car. It's quite helpful when parking. You've got all your usual drive selects, and it's all maintained from the sort of system down here by your hand. And you can also control the infotainment from there too. In terms of the drive modes, it comes with a few. So it's got efficiency mode, comfort mode, dynamic mode, which is essentially sport mode, and then also an individual mode. You can control it with the button here in the dash, or you can just start changing gears using the levers as well. So you can react quite quickly. In terms of the comfort of the drive, this car does have a sort of sportier suspension setup, so it can be a little bit rough, but it's not really that rough in the greater scheme of things, and not compared to like a 90s Japanese car. It's very nice in here in comparison. The sound deadening is really good too, so you can't really hear much outside noise. When you're going in start-stop traffic or pulling out, the throttle response is very sensitive, and it's not a linear throttle response either. So with the power from the engine, you can quite easily find yourself sort of lurching forward when you didn't intend to. I'm currently sitting on the motorway, a little bit of traffic, but not too bad. I'm doing about 85 kilometers an hour. I'm in comfort mode, and as you can hear, the sound deadening is pretty good. There's not a whole lot of road noise or wind noise. One thing I will say about being on the motorway is that because it has 8 gears, you're usually only doing like 1,000 to 1,500 revs, even at sort of 100 kilometers an hour, so the engine stays fairly quiet. However, when you put your foot down, it certainly kicks down into lower gears and you can get a bit of noise coming out of the engine. However, it's a little bit dangerous because you're sitting up so high, it affects your sense of speed, so you can quite easily find yourself speeding without intending to as well. but I'm sure if you own the car long term, you'd get very used to that. I've now put the car in dynamic mode, and on the motorway I can already see that it's holding a lower gear, so it's keeping the revs higher, and the exhaust is also opened up now, so yeah, you can definitely hear the exhaust and the engine roar a bit more, so it's certainly there if you want it. I'm just at a stoplight now, and it's an 80-kilometer road, so I'm going to put my foot down and let you guys hear the engine. Okay, now I'm on a windy country road, so I'm going to put it in dynamic mode, and we'll see how the car performs. Well, one thing's for certain, you can definitely feel the weight of the car in the corners. It's definitely got a good amount of body roll. With the car in sport mode, the throttle response is really sharpened up now. It drops gears a lot faster, and the throttle does feel more linear, whereas in comfort mode it just felt like it almost had stages in which it was jumping. One thing which is a little bit of a negative is that the suspension, while it's a sport suspension and a little bit complementary, it doesn't really help that much on the corners, and you don't get much steering feel coming back either, so you can't really feel how much the suspension is loaded up, which makes it a little bit difficult to take corners with speed. Outside of that though, it's certainly a fun car when it's got the beans to go as well. Hi, I'm back at home now, and overall I've been really impressed with the car. You know, I think it's probably a little bit of a sleeper in its nature. Not many people are going to suspect it to be, you know, a fast car. However, if you're in the know about Audis, you'll realize that the satin-tipped wing mirrors do mean that it is an S-Class. I think if you are in the market for a big car like this because you need one and you want something that's a little bit sporty, it is a very good option. In terms of other cars from around the same era, I believe the Porsche Macan first came out in 2014, and this car would be about the same speed as the Macan GTS, probably a little bit faster than the S, but certainly not as fast as the Turbo, and they were slightly more expensive cars at that time too. So I think they do have a slightly nicer interior. I haven't actually been in one from that era though. Really, that's all about the Audi SQ5. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Here's a little sneak preview of what we'll be doing a video of next time. This is my other car.